There is a geomagnetic storm underway. There was also one yesterday. So there was one, and then it paused, and then it came back as I suspected. There was an event that happened that transpired. Also, 12 hours after I predicted a false flag before the eclipse, and this could lead to other things. I don't know what the news is, and I don't want to look today. It's the event in Russia. They're saying that an ISIS K cell committed an act of terrorism with 40 dead in Russia. Many people already believe the ISIS network is controlled by the US. I do. The difference is I see it being controlled regardless of who's in power. That's the difference. Okay, a lot of people don't really think this through. Like, well, if ISIS is controlled by Obama, then it's not controlled when it's Trump? No, it's still controlled. Oh. So then the Muslim ban, yeah, that was unnecessary. Oh, yeah, you got it. Both guys are fucking destroying our lives. And until you have that light bulb go off above your head, son, you're just dumb. And you're not part of the truth movement. You're working against it with a double-edged sword, right? You need to be exposing the people, destroying your country, and selling your military secrets to China and Russia, which control this internet, this YouTube. Why don't you guys talk about this? So let's talk about this. I'm done with Coast to Coast, and they're done with me. And I reminded them that their level of professionalism was less than par for a national radio show. And I'll blog about that on Substack for people that want to subscribe. One single human, said they listened to the show. Last year was 1, 2, 4. So more people responded to the Coast to Coast radio show in 2019. The Portland, Oregon Access TV shows, meaning it's on TV, meaning random people can find it, and my Substack is clearly visible. One guy that walks around all day, sends random women he met on Tinder my way, that have demonic possessions. That's all I've heard from Portland, like that oddity, right? So awesome. Yeah, Portland, I totally should move back. I bet it's just great. Hey, send me a YouTube video of somebody, of everybody in Portland having fun and smiling and going, hey, Alex, bro, love and light. I'm sorry, what? Grasshoppers. Chirp, chirp. Chirp, chirp. But don't destroy Portland just because it's overrunning with zombies. Try to help the people in Portland with some spiritual outreach. So as we go out in a blaze of glory, take me down with you. As we go out as the cities are nuked in a mutual destruction program. At least in your consciousness, I gave you some coordinates to get closer to God. Yes, I did. I give you plenty of truthful news. Even for those of you on the dark side that killed people, that buried bodies, I know you're out there, that have been just observing. You too have absorbed information into your heart that has convinced some of you that maybe you didn't serve the ultimate side. But none of you have yet contacted me to say you've changed sides. So I'm not convinced this is paradise. I'm convinced this is pure evil. None of your compliments are going to change that until those of you that were on the dark side contact me and tell me you've converted. Okay? Until there's conversions from the dark side to the light, right now there's a harvest of souls. And so what I'm saying is it's almost like some souls are so dark, they're already taken and they can't be helped, because they're demon souls to begin with, and they're here in the simulation to be the interference for those of us that are trying to free our enslavement. I'm part of the awakening process, and I put myself out there before the planet as part of the awakening process, and also showed emotional vulnerabilities that most men that think that they're super tough would never in 1 million trillion years ever have the bravery to share. They would never share that, ever! They would never share that vulnerability. I have shared with you vulnerabilities. That takes bravery. Some of you don't understand that and need an essay. How are you brave, dude, if you're sharing stuff we typically keep secret? Because it's through my life story that I've come to understand the planetary enslavement system. So we're going to close it here. I did predict a false flag before it happened, if it is a false flag, or an event. Violence. We did talk about geomagnetic storms and violence. I showed you the welcome to the jungle. We've got fun and games. I hope you're intelligent enough to realize I wasn't just pointing the finger at black people, right? That we're talking about white, black, Afghan Islamic terror that we see, even the allegations of ISIS. Even if let's say you believe it's all real, and you're like, oh my God, immigrants, invasion, ISIS, lions and tigers and bears, oh my. Even within that matrix, I can feed you buffet food that fits within but I don't really want to feed into your whatever you got going on there. It's way bigger than the right-wing viewpoint. But this border thing and the migrant surge and the violence there, I'm not saying something violent didn't happen. I'm saying there's something bigger going on than the border issue. But are they making something happen at the border that can instigate something else? Oh, yeah. And are there times in which people do just get emotional like migrants and flip the F out? Sometimes when they were from equator-born regions. And that's not racist. And Mr. Dobler explained why that's not a racist position, even though he's a right-winger, in his book on solar behavior. Okay, so some humans from some regions, especially if, I say there's way more that he doesn't see, because he doesn't see the global conspiracy, 9/11, and NWO. If he does, he doesn't speak of it in the book, okay? So if you're aware of 9/11, the truth of 9/11 and the NWO, there's no excuse for you to fall into the hate matrix, okay? Only because people led you that direction, politicians and talk show hosts, they got you thinking that was cool and shit. No, man, that ain't cool. What's going to happen with Muslims and refugees is going to be manufactured in the next couple of months to get people to react. And which one of you guys actually need to do something to actually uproot me from the ghettos of hell and help me write books? None of you so far. So don't act like, everything's great, I'm happy with you, and everything's going to be great. No, we're heading towards total destruction. Prepare for the unexpected. Get yourself water and supplies. I gave you a meditation tutorial to get you in your heart space without talking too fast. So this video is going to be short. Warning, false flag predicted, coast to coast 9/11, coast to coast staff seems unconscious, interference on the show, and I'm getting reports from only one person. Don't want to say her name, but she's a regular viewer. Thank me for warning her about not going to Portland. She reported from her end lots of interference on the show. And from her perspective listening, she said it sounded like the host wasn't even barely listening to what I was saying. And there were off-the-wall questions. For those of you that actually do know about solar flares, you might know that some of the questions that were thrown my way did very little to go to what I was discussing. And there was no attempt to mention that I had a book for sale that just came out.